Alright, good morning, everybody. Time for another fucking shit show, so I hope you guys are ready for this one. Now, there's a lot of tensions circling around. Not a whole lot of mainstream media is going to be covering this, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it just seems a little unorthodox to bring this shit up. But anyway, I wouldn't get too concerned, but Russia has restarted low-level nuclear testing. Now this is like in a lab conducting very small fission tests. It's not like, the same as like blowing up an actual warhead, so it's not unprecedented. The U.S. and Russia, have tinkered with this for some time. Other countries do it too, occasionally. This is more involved with what would go on within a standard laboratory. Although one high, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a high-level security clearance. Pretty sure you're going to have to do that in order to know what's really going on. They're not just going to leak it all out to the press what they're doing, because they're doing all this stuff in a lab. And unlike in the old days, they used to just set off bombs out in the desert and shit, which was stupid, by the way. Why the hell would you nuke your own land? It's like fucking crazy. No, but other countries have tinkered with it, and it's nothing out of the ordinary. Russia basically, wasn't doing this, but now they've gone back to attentions. There's a lot of speculation about Russia. The mainstream media just wants to paint a picture that Russia is, above us. Trump is working for Vladimir Putin and all this, but that's all they amp. You don't hear anything about what's going on. Anyway, but the tensions, between the U.S. and Russia has been getting worse, generally speaking, for the last few years, through basically the end of the Bush era. A little bit of chill creeps back in the little bit of the Cold War sort of rhetoric around. It's 2006 or something. Wasn't the invasion of Georgia? It was in 2006, I believe. I don't know. It was towards the end of the Bush presidency. No, Obama didn't do any favors. Of course he didn't. He didn't do any favors to hand the Russians. He made no real overtures. Wanted to get involved in Syria. That was, crossing a red line, according to the Kremlin, of course. And we almost went to war with them back then. I remember that point in time when Russia just said, you know what? I'm shutting off communications. We no longer want to hear what you have to say. Now, this was a time when you really need to worry, because I think they found an Israeli jet, I think it was, that they painted to look like a Russian jet. And they found that out. It was leaked footage as they were actually painting this thing. And I think, what the intention was to push the United States and Russia into a conflict. Now, that was some pretty dangerous shit. Trump was actually pretty smart for pulling us out. So I don't think he's going to make any stupid moves. I don't think we're going to make a big deal out of it. We've already crossed the line with the Russians. Uncle Sam, willingly crossed the line. So we got a new Cold War. It's actually just an extension of the Cold War that already existed. People have to understand that. Most of the moves being made in the world right now are not related to the grand chessboard, that involves Venezuela. That's fuel related. That involves certainly the Middle East. It involves, us trying to clamp down on fuel in Afghanistan. It's not just related to, like opium. All right. A lot of people, when you hear Afghanistan, you think opium. It's also related to the Russians having warm water portage, more easily going through Afghanistan. Building infrastructure, something along with the Chinese, would definitely be helpful to Russia. And so it's really just the grand chessboard, continuing since it has begun in the late 40s. It's the same shit that we've already been going through so far. So everybody's just kind of like amping it up. It's the same thing we've been going through, as far as the nuclear testing site goes. Though my worry is that something like the following will happen. My worry is the U.S. and Russia are pretty dedicated to not testing nuclear weapons. It's dumb to blow up nukes on your own territory. It really is. I don't even know why people do it. Because, you might need that particular piece of land for some reason, It never made sense to me why we would just set off these harmful radiation bombs. Anyway. Don't know who's calling, but sorry about that, guys. Where was I at? See, I hate when that happens. Anyway, just long story short, we're not going to, I mean, it's not a big deal. But the thing is that, I don't know. I mean, I predict something, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it right now because I haven't done enough research on this to know. But I know that there's something with Iran. I don't think we're going to go to war with Iran. That would just really be stupid. That wouldn't even be really considered just a proxy war. That would turn us into a world war because Russia most certainly would get involved. Then of course Israel would get involved. There's really no end to this war. There's no end to these conflicts, and there's not going to be a winner. If there's ever a nuclear war, just kiss your ass goodbye. Start, just go out. And if you don't survive the immediate blast, you'll be radiated. Eventually you boil up and shit'll burst open and you'll leak all over the place. And it's just a gross thing. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't understand why people do that shit. They bomb their own territory. Now it's all radiated. Congratulations. Makes more sense to use them for, attacking enemies than attacking yourself. But, most people don't dare do it. My worry is that you'll see a situation like with the Israeli nuclear test that almost certainly was paired with the South Africans. There was a rogue nuclear explosion long ago. I think off the coast of Africa, if I remember correctly. Was it the coast of Africa? Yeah, it was the coast of Africa. I think it was. Yeah, South Africa, and it was rumored that it was just a joint test, which I don't believe. I don't believe was ever fully owned up to. You could see a situation where Russia therefore exports its full yield testings to like Iran and says, "Okay, we'll put some nukes, right in your country. We're going to start testing over there." And then, of course, what's going to end up happening is if you end up fucking bringing in nuclear weapons into Iran. See, I'm not worried about Iran getting nuclear weapons. They've been saying the shit for 30 years. They're going to get nuclear weapons. Kim Jong got nuclear weapons in just a few short years. Iran can't get their nuclear bombs, together. I'm not worried about Iran. I don't think anybody should worry about Iran. But I'm just saying, there's just so much rhetoric in the news. Everybody's like freaking out and panicking, But no, don't worry. My real concern is that the U.S. response will be similar. We'll end up staging them somewhere. We'll end up going back to full level testing, but we'll be using a proxy to do it. Or we'll pretend that a nation developed a rogue nuclear program, but really they're under our thumb the entire time, which of course is a risk because they can always develop. I mean, like I said, North Korea. North Korea was given nuclear material by the U.S. I mean, not China, not Russia, the United States. It was like an appeasement policy. Clinton was like, "Oh yeah, we'd like for you to develop nuclear energy so that you could take care of your people." And then of course Kim Jong-un said, "You know what? We got China on our side. We now have everything we need to develop a bomb. Fuck them. What are they going to do? Invade us? No, that would be fucking stupid." That's exactly what happened. Kim Jong used the strong arm of China to push their nuclear program, and all we kept doing, we knew that. That's exactly why every time they'd fire a missile, I remember. I think it was it yeah, I think it was Obama. Obama gets up on national TV and he warns North Korea, "You better not fire one more missile or we're coming over there." Okay, Mr. Obama, and about, I don't know, like less than 24 hours later, they launched like 7. It's like, fuck you, America. What are you going to do? You going to come over and invade us? Nah, you're not going to do that shit. That would be fucking retarded. Everybody thinks, "Oh, we'll just destroy North Korea." Nah, it's not that simple. It's not that simple, folks. You don't just destroy a superpower, all right? And North Korea is, considered a superpower now. Not by import-export or by any economic means in the sense, but by weaponry. And they got a pretty damn good sizable army, and they've got China backing them up. And we noticed that a lot of movement from China has been happening due to these tariff wars and shit. They've been building these little islands all across the Mediterranean. It seems like they're trying to stretch into our waters. I think it was China. It was either China or Russia that here recently breached our airspace. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things brewing up, and I certainly don't think it would be a good idea to start tinkering around with nuclear weapons, because that's going to lead to some shit that you don't want, nobody wants. So all you patriotic people out there that think, oh, we'll just nuke the shit out of them, well, it's not going to be that fucking easy. Okay, don't talk stupid, because it's not going to be just a nuclear war between two particular countries. Allies are going to get involved. Their allies, our allies. Boom, 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 boom. It's just going to be like this huge hail of fucking nuclear weapon. Look what Russia has. What they think that bomb called the Satan. It's got like 30 megatons of fucking shit, like all these different bombs in one bomb. That could take out like Beijing. That's how badass the Russians are. The Russians are way ahead of us in nuclear technology, folks. Way ahead. I think our biggest one is like, 8 megatons, 10 megatons, something like that. That wouldn't even take out half of Abilene. But still, I mean, it's not about the bombs, it's how many you have, and when you coordinate the land properly, you could take out a whole damn country. It's really what it is. So anyway, that's the latest, and if I get any more in between now and then, I'll let you guys know. Meantime, signing the fuck off, Dan Lane saying no matter where you go, there you are. Have a blessed day.